everybody, Mike from Just Watch, back with another Just Watch episode. Today, as you saw from the show title above there, we are doing an unboxing on a brand new Steinhart that is exclusive to GnomonWatches.com. This is really a cool one. What they did is another sub-homage, except for they kind of gave it a vintage touch and they released it in the more correct 40mm size with a 20mm bracelet. So they did a Explorer style dial, and they also did a gilt handset, and I think a gilt chapter ring too. I'm working from memory here off of what I saw on their website. I actually ordered this in because I did want to check it out and give it some wrist time. So this watch is pretty cool looking and I'm excited to see it. And I had a very positive review of the Steinhart that I did back, I think it was February of this year. My only issue with it was that it was not sized accurately. It was like a 42.5 or a 43mm case diameter. So it was a little bit bigger than a vintage piece should have been, which is what that watch represented. So I had a little bit of trouble with that. So I'm glad to see that they did this in that more accurate size. Before we go under the lights too, I just wanted to clean up a bit of channel business going back to the Seiko SRPA 75K1 watch giveaway. Still have not heard from our winner, Eagle Jim. So Eagle Jim, where are you, buddy? If you are out there, make sure to go to my website, justwatch.watch, use the contact form and send me your contact info so I can get this watch off to you. And if anybody's thinking of claiming to be Eagle Jim, I do have a method in mind of verifying that it is in fact Eagle Jim who contacts me, so don't even think about trying that one, guys. Anyways, let's get this watch under the lights, take a look at it. I'm excited to see it. I haven't seen it. As you can see, it's still sealed in this packaging from DHL, and then we'll come back and wrap it up. All right, everybody, thank you. All right, everybody, so here we are with the Gnomon Steinhart Special Edition. Actually excited to open this up, so let's get this open. This thing is packed in more bubble wrap than I've ever seen in my life. So we have a NATO strap, kind of a green and gold type of thing. Pretty cool. And then we have your usual Steinhart timepieces box here. This has a silver foil to it. As you can see there, it's picking up in the light. No other markings. Booklets. Guarantee. And the leather box. This is the same leather box that the other Steinhart that I did the review on back in February came in. So let's see what we have. Oh wow, that looks really nice. So give you a closer look at it. First thing that's jumping out at me here is just the scale of it is much nicer. Let me move my camera a little bit here. The scale of it is just much nicer than the other one that I had. Actually, let's get a run in here a little bit too. It's not. Yeah, so that gets it running. So this is an ETA movement watch. This features the 2824-2. That's an Alabore grade. I think I'm pronouncing that right, at least I hope I am. Somebody please correct me if not. And let's get the plastic off of this. So the last few unboxings that I've done, the plastic on the things have been just crazy, especially if you're trying to get it off with gloves on. There we go, so we can find the end of it here. There we go. Give you a look at that dial. So there's the Explorer dial variant with that nice touch of gilt. Nice bezel. It's a little on the stiff side. 120 click, unidirectional. Not terribly stiff though. Kind of nice. And then here's a case. Drilled lug holes, oyster style bracelet. It does feature screw links for bracelet adjustment. crown is signed Steinhart. Really nice profile on the watch. Case back is definitely not a Rolex knockoff. Looks more, I don't know, I guess more like a Seiko than a Rolex. Pretty good thickness there too. I have not seen any measurements on this yet. I'm guessing that's around 14 millimeters thick. When we do the full review, I'll run through all of the sizes and everything. Nice taper on the bracelet there too. So that is a 20 millimeter lug width, and that tapers down to 16 millimeters, I believe. Let's see if we can get some of this plastic off here. It's nice, actually nicely machined piece. Stainless steel, of course, as marked. Typical pin tool for micro adjust. Not a big deal. And when you consider the price of this watch, you know, you're looking at under 500 US dollars for the watch. I think it's, you know, what you're getting here as far as the class goes, I think you're getting more than your fair share for the money. Let's take off that little bit of plastic. You have a laser etch Steinhart logo there. I can't get this stuff off with the with my gloves on. So let me, I'm going to pull away from the camera a sec, remove the rest of the plastic, and we'll come back. And we're back. I can't tell you how hard it was to get the plastic off of this watch. It was incredibly hard. So anyways, there we are with all of the plastic removed, the bracelet in all of its glory, that nice oyster bracelet, and then the case as well. As I mentioned in the intro, the case is actually a little bit different in shape from Rolex. If you really know a Rolex case, it doesn't have the bezel or the bevels as a Rolex case does, and it's more squared off at the tip of the lug there compared to a Rolex. But it is similar, and you know, and I actually don't think it's a bad thing that it's not just completely knocking off. I actually would prefer to see them add a little bit of their own flavor to it as well. So everything looks good. Initial impression, everything feels good. The bracelet feels good. I haven't got the plastic off the clasp yet. Everything looks nice. I really like the size. And let's give you guys a wrist check too. So today I am wearing my vintage Seiko Urchin. Purchased this one in the early 1990s when my Seiko Toro was being repaired. So this is kind of another old vintage watch. You can see all of that fade, the bezel is done. That's all from me wearing it throughout the years in the sun. This one still keeps accurate time and also still has an amazing power reserve. Still has a power reserve around 40 hours. So good stuff here from Seiko. Really well made. I'll give you guys a look at this Steinhart on the wrist. Oh, and I forgot to show you, this is the plastic hang tag that comes with the watch as well. On the wrist, so my wrist is a 7-inch wrist. Of course, this has not been sized. You can see there is ample room there for people who have a wrist bigger than mine. And then there it is on the wrist. Very comfortable, really nice, low profile. That's my first kind of impression of it on the wrist. Also a bit long for a watch that's a 39 millimeter size as far as lug to lug this way. See if I can give you a better look at that. So you can see, I would guess it's probably a millimeter longer than a vintage Rolex would be as far as tip to tip, but still definitely fits on my 7-inch wrist without any issues. Actually, my wrist is a little bit under 7 inches, so probably more like 6 3/4 or 6 7/8, somewhere in there. Probably, I'd guess it about 170 millimeters, somewhere around there for you people that do the metric instead of the English inches. So there it is, very comfortable, really nice size. I think Steinhart with the Ocean 139 here, they just did a really nice job of the overall presentation. And also, I think this watch is just going to be a really nice value proposition. Let's give you guys a look at the lume on this watch because it was pretty impressive. Wow, so yeah, there's some pretty good lume there. So that's very bright. The activation on this lume is only what it received from my studio lights here as I was recording this, and I've done a couple of takes as I've been tripping over my tongue today. That's the problem with recording is at nighttime instead of the morning. Definitely would prefer mornings as, you know, when you're fresh. But there's a look at the watch with the lume. Looks pretty good. All right, so I'm excited to give this one some wrist time. I really like, you know, first impression is very strong. I had a very good impression on the Steinhart that I reviewed back in, I think it was February, as I mentioned in the intro. And My issue with it was just the size. I didn't like it. It was a 42.5 or 43 millimeter. So that was definitely addressed here with this being a 39. I think it's right on the money as far as the size goes and the way it fits on the wrist. So excited to give this one some wrist time. I'll get the review on this one up in about a week, if not sooner. Everybody, thank you again for tuning into this episode. I appreciate having you guys along, and we'll be back with another episode soon. All right, everybody, bye-bye.